Laughing Vikings Live. High vibe chats with actors, comedians, and creators, plus stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, and most importantly, you. That's right, join us every Monday for new episodes, and you can be a part of the show on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch. Ask questions and interact in the comments, and make sure to share this with your actor, comedian, and creator friends so they can be a part of the show too. Can't make a live show? No problem. You can catch up on your favorite podcast platform and visit laughingvikings.com to find out how you can join the cast and crew. All right, it's time for today's show. Buckle up and make sure you stick around to the end because we have a special surprise for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Laughing Vikings Live. Happy Monday Fun Day. Let's go.
Oh my God, everybody! Welcome to Comedy Alley. I just felt like I should sing along with that amazing music. Why did it stop? I'm like, anyways, it was so great. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back there. How's everybody feeling? Yeah, we're fucking back-ish. Eh? We're back-ish. That's it. What are we going to do? We're going to keep it tight tonight because, like, we did debate whether we should do the show or not. I'm kind of like, you're the only guy that's not in on this conversation. But otherwise, we all talk. I'm just going to bring you in everything and bring you in on everything. Oh, look, we're streaming live. Is that to the world? Amazing. I know there are a shit ton of people watch this fucking show tonight. And I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I'll do just what I'm doing. And I was excited. I'm still excited about doing a show tonight. So I guess I'll do a couple minutes of material and then fuck off, I guess. What are we doing? Okay, so Maple Leaf put out an ad during the whole pando. They came out with a new product. I think it was new burgers, and it said 50% meat, 50% plant-based. And I'm like, that's fucking disgusting. I'm like, that's like saying 50% dick, 50% dick pump. You know what I mean? My Uncle Gino had a dick pump. I know. It was such a family thing. 80-year-old fucking Uncle Gino shows up to weddings. It's all about the dick pump. You know what? You know, like how uncomfortable. It's like, do we need to talk about your pumped dick? Gino? You know, anyways, he died. We buried him with the pump. It's over. You know what I mean? No more dick pump conversations at fucking weddings. Like, so weird. My mom would joke. It's her uncle. This is my fucking great uncle. This fuck, right? Just bragging about a dick pump. This is, I know, with family legacies. You know what I mean? Like right here. Take it is. I was at a show and this comic had gone on stage and she was talking about how she'd had sex with a flat earther and how disgusted she was. She's like, you think I'm going to fuck that guy again? No fucking way. Right? And I was like, wow, it's so trivial. This shit that we will, stop having sex with people for, And then it made me think, I'm like, was the opposite true? Like 500 years ago after Columbus discovered North America, right? He's back in Europe fucking bitches. You know what I mean? And he's like, hey, you wouldn't believe I discovered the world is around. And she's like, get the fuck off me, you sick fuck. Right? And then she's with her friends like, you wouldn't believe who I fucked last night. A guy who says the fucking earth is round. You think I'm going to fuck that guy again? No fucking way. Right? You see how long it takes to change an opinion? 500 years. You know what I mean? 500 years. Okay, this is going better than I thought. Honest to God. This would only appear at strip joints, but now comedy. You know what I mean? McDonald's had an ad, came out with an ad that said Canadian chickens on Canadian farms. And I'm like, what do these chickens have passports? You know what I mean? And if they do, they better have a fucking vaccine passport, okay? Their immunizations better be up to date because if we got to start carrying this shit, so do these motherfucking chickens. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a month, however long these little poor fucks have to stay alive, I want to see a fucking countdown. Did you get all your immunization? Okay, now I'm going to eat you, Okay, good. Things are ripping up. Bryan, we're gonna bring you in fucking caliente.
I can't follow this.
So I was at a friend's the other night, and we're talking about the Illuminati. You know what I mean? As you do, right? Bring it up, dose it in conversation. You know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, if you're talking about that there's a cabal or an Illuminati, like I don't believe that. I'm like, you don't believe there's a group of people who come together, like they meet and it's organized? Like you don't believe that? And I get really mad. I like when I start going deep into the conspiracy, and I'm like, look at these fucks. What are these fucks doing? You know? And I'm like, what am I mad at? Am I mad that they're meeting? You know what I mean? Like, what am I really mad about? Because I'm meeting people too. You know what I mean? They're meeting over one thing. I'm meeting over another. And that's it. Okay, new joke. Lick it up. Okay, wicked. Oh, this turned out better than I thought, man. And we were all back there like, I don't know, should we do comedy? You know what I mean? Look at this fucking beautiful. This guy's amazing. This guy, your friend. I love this guy. What else? Whew. What the fuck are we talking about in this world? Maybe an Ajax. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay. I'll just quickly do this and then get off. I was on Tinder for about a week 2 months ago. I always like to just go in and out, you know? I don't know if you do, but that's what I do. And I match up with this guy named Ahmed, right? And he's like, can we FaceTime? And normally I'm like, ugh. I mean, it made me sick. I was like, oh, we're not going to have a conversation with this guy right now. But I was high, so I'm like, let's do this, you know? But just before he calls me, he sends me a message and he's like, what are your measurements? I'm like, what are you making me a dress? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? So weird. So anyways, he calls me on FaceTime and he's like, oh, nice. And I'm like, thanks. And he's like, so 5'6", huh? What is that in centimeters? What's with this guy in the numbers? Like, what are you building me a coffin? I'm like, what's happening? You know what I mean? It's so fucking weird. Nobody's ever asked me my numbers, my measurements. And then he's like, you know what? He goes, next week, he goes, you can come to my house in Ajax. I cook you very good Turkish food. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to come to your house on the first date in Ajax. You know what I mean? He's like, why not? It'll be fun. Cha-cha-cha. You know what I mean? And I was like, I can imagine I drive up to fucking Ajax. We have some Turkish food. He laces it with poison. I die, foam at the mouth, right? And then he dresses me in the dress he sewed. You know what I mean? And then places me in the coffin he built, right? And then puts me in the basement at Ajax. And that's a COVID true dating story. You know what I mean? Guys, on that note, thank you. This is great. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll be back next week. Let's start off this show because we do have a really great lineup. And this first guy, I mean, if you don't follow him on Instagram, you fucking better. I love this guy so much. Please welcome to the stage, Bryan Hatt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm suing.
Give it up for Sandra Battaglini, everybody. She's one false step away from dying, so let her feel the love now. Wow. I want to thank everybody in the room tonight, the thousands of people who are watching online. Ahmed, if you're watching, it's 32-44-30, okay? Start stitching, you son of a bitch. I'll put out. I'm fucking horny. I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'm ready to go. Which reminds me, a little bit of bad news. I hate to start this way, but Bill Cosby still on the loose, everybody, okay? So keep a heads up. Keep the hand over that fucking drink, you know what I mean? Maybe get Ariel walk you to the bathroom just in case. You see like a old popsicle with one eye here, and he's offering you Jell-O. Just turn the fuck around and get the fuck out of there. Don't fuck that fudgesicle. He's trying to rape you. You know, this is not even part of the joke. I remember when, because I was a big Bill Cosby fan. I was hurt bad when All the Truth came out. So I was really upset. And I read on the first day in prison, he fell down some stairs and somebody threw a hot dog at him. And all I could think was, good. Anyways, that's probably Schadenfreude, but I just had to say it. What am I going to say here? I am I guess this is my answer. Did you guys start dating during the pandemic? A week. Okay, so we're still kind of okay. I couldn't do any dating during the pandemic. I had to shut it down. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't reach a compromise between my fucking libido and librano. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't understand how that was going to work. So I just fucking abstained completely. So if you're doing the math, I haven't had sex in 3 years. So it's been rough. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, bravo. I'm not judging anyone that did date. I'm just saying I couldn't figure out how that was going to work. Like the first date, right? Like when she leans in for that first kiss. What am I supposed to hit her with a fucking nasal swab? You're like, all right, let's see how that works out for you. Maybe I'll call you in a couple of days. That comes back negative. See if you're clean, huh? Just act super tight. Just whoa. You know what? Let's just keep things below the waist for a while, okay? All right, just gonna go to the notes. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I haven't done stand up in forever. I shouldn't say I did have a little sex during the pandemic. I did. There was just nobody there to see it. That was the problem. No witnesses. They will not hold up in court, if you know what I mean. But I swear to you, it happens. That's one thing, though. I got a lot done during the pandemic. I'm not going to lie to you. I tried to remain productive. Like I taught myself how to edit. You know, I made a bunch of funny videos, which I'd always been bugging myself to do, and finally got around to do it. I'm pretty sure I perfected masturbation, so that's another one. Because I had a lot of time to myself, right? And, you know, things get boring and you really got to spice it up. So I think I took it to a whole new level. I'm kind of proud of it. Like, I'm even surprising myself. Like, sometimes I'll just light some candles, you know, put a little meal in the oven to warm up, and then just leave for a while and then come back. Like, somebody surprised me with this shit. Just like, oh, is this all for me? That's, wow. How'd you know? It was such a long day. I am tired. I will take my shirt off. That's so weird that you start massaging myself, and before you know it, we're fucking. By the way, and don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about, because I know we all masturbate, but has anybody noticed that Pornhub has added a play all button? Play all. Instead of choosing, you can just hit a button and it'll just... You can just start binging porn. Like, I don't, who the fuck is that for? Just like, oh my god, it's so fucking work today. If I have to make one more fucking choice, just play, just fucking play. Black people, stepsisters, mothers, transgender. I don't give a fuck. Just show me some fucking porn now, please, before I fucking explode. You know, I really expect that to get a bigger laugh in this abandoned alley that we're performing in with the ghost next door. No, I'm kidding. I just forgot to mention this shit at the beginning. Okay. 30 more minutes. Oh. Sandra was mentioning the vaccine passports. I know a lot of people aren't comfortable with that, but I am all for it because I'm a sports guy, which means I'm a stats man. Right? I like to know what I'm fucking around with. Do you know what I mean? I like to use that information to make informed decisions. Right? I'd like to know, just like, hey, maybe I'll show you mine. If you show me yours, oh, what's this? Oh, one shot of Johnson & Johnson. You know, I'm not really feeling that good tonight. Okay, no Johnson & Johnson jokes. Okay, good. It's an inferior vaccine. That's where I thought the joke would be funny, but you don't care. That's fair. I can literally feel myself through the speaker, and it's going right up the leg to the balls. I'm pleasuring myself with myself in front of all you. That's my, yeah, no, please. Closer. Okay. Oh, this is fun too, because I am trying to get back into the game. So I'm taking all offers, right? You know, I'm even opening things up to couples. So I'm going to start with the lesbian couples at first, but if that works out, you guys can get your name on the list. But I'm taking all bets. My friends are trying to set me up, and God bless them for trying. But my friends have this annoying habit. Every time they set me up, they always set me up with like another overweight person. Which is not like, I'm not shitting on overweight people, obviously. I am an overweight person. But I just think it's a little rude to think that that's that's going to be the common link. That's why we're going to bond over the fact that we look similar, right? Like, you can't set people up like that. You wouldn't do it with black people, right? You'd be like, oh, hey, Patrick, I thought you might like Serena because your melanin matches, right? Or in my case, Brian, meet Stacy. She also thinks Subway sandwiches is a healthy choice. Okay. A couple laughs. She reached for the water. I don't know what to think about it. It's hard to read a room of four. Okay. How we wrap this up? Let's go. Ariel, are you next?
I don't know.
Good luck, buddy. What the fuck am I talking about? Oh, another survey question. Anybody here ever had a guy-girl threesome? You have. Respect. I don't think I can do it. Paul, I see you back there. At a boy. I'm not judging again. I appreciate both of your confidence. You know what I mean? I just don't think I could ever be comfortable enough or love another man enough to be like, bro, get in here. You know what I mean? Just because I can't even read with somebody reading over my shoulder. Like, forget about fucking with another dude. I'd just be like, what the? What are you doing back there? Could you just? I can't focus when you're. Honestly, are you getting a glass of water, or because I'm about to finish? Well, hurry up. He's getting tired. All right, that was stupid. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Well, that feels like 30 minutes, right? I probably hit my time. Hey, I wanted to say this show's been doing so well, and the fact that I rode the Queen Streetcar here, I think we can officially declare this room a hotspot. That's good news. That's a bad COVID joke. Okay. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. All right. I don't know how to do it. How about I just wipe everything down, and that'll be my closer. Anybody? Are we good with it? Good. A little sanitization. Big finish. Okay. Lars, if you're listening, this is your fault. Just gonna go. That's Sandra. My name's Brian. Thank you.
Guys, Bryan Hatt, let him hear you. Come on, let him really hear you. What a night, eh? We were literally talking about two guys and a girl before this show happened, and then Brian's doing jokes. It's crazy. So I had a proposition from a guy, okay? Let me back it up. I'm going to back it up to the beginning. It starts from the very beginning. A very good place to start. When you sing, you begin with do, re, mi, pump it up a tree. Oh, I am loose tonight. Someone come get me. Whatever. Right? Anyway, so after Ahmed, I canceled Tinder, go fuck yourself. And then I meet a human person. And so we're on the phone, right? And it's steamy. And he says to me, he tells me at minute 40 he's naked. And I was like, oh my God, wow. I'm like, this whole time? He's like, yeah. But he goes, I'm just pacing. I'm pacing the room. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, that's cool. And he was like, I'm really hot because you worked all day. It's summertime. I go, take a cold shower. And he's like, because it's good for your blood. And he goes, I have a size 7 foot. Like, you know what that'll do to me? And he pauses and he's like, but don't worry. He's like, I got a big dick. I'm Italian. And me wanting to relate, I was like, you know what? I'm Italian too. And I have a big vagina. You know what I mean? But it doesn't come off the same. Like, chicks can't lead with that. Hey, bro, you know what? Big puss over here. What are you going to do? You going to be able to fill it up? Huh? You know what I mean? Like, we can't lead with this shit, right? So then he's asking me, he's like, what's your fantasy? You know? And then I literally was like, my fantasy? I'm like, the fuck? That's it. Just, you know what I mean? Like Teresa Tam, that fucking whore, telling us we had to just go to glory holes and shit. Right? Like, that's the only sex we could have. I'm like, you know, I just want to have sex like missionary style. You know what I mean? Good fucking plowing. Like a missionary. Like, he's a Catholic missionary, right? And I'm some poor pagan worshiping, unsuspecting girl who's looking for salvation. You know what I mean? And this guy baptizes me, and I take Jesus as my savior, and that's the fantasy. You know what I mean? That's it. That's the fantasy, buddy. Total conversion, Roman Catholic style, in a pueblo in fucking South America. Okay, I don't give a fuck. But the one thing, then on another call, we're having phone sex, and he was like, yeah. He goes, do you like women? I'm like, yeah, fucking think it is, And he's like, what about two guys? And I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe. I was like, that's something. And he goes, yeah, like he's talking dirty, and he goes, whatever, two dicks. This is too much. Two dicks here, and then you'll do a couple of what do you call that? Wait a minute. A couple of bumps of cocaine. And I was like, no cocaine for me. You know what I mean? I'm not, no cocaine for me. Two guys? You know what I mean? No coke for me. Fuck you. Anyways, guys, we're going to bring up your next act. Are you ready for it? Come on, we got to hear it. I think we need a lot from you guys tonight. We need a lot. I don't know how many people are watching on YouTube.
A lot.
Yeah, like what?
God.
Is it being recorded? Because I want to use this set.
Yeah. It's still being streamed live.
Okay, great. It's all good.
Oh yeah.
Your next act, who's coming on the stage, all I'm going to say, he's got a toddler. Maybe he's going to tell you about it. He's on the stage, Sam Norton. And he just dropped. What did you drop there?
No, that wasn't.
Sam Norton, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Sandra. You're knowing that your fantasy is to be a pagan witch is fucking hilarious on a personal level to me. Just to imagine you sacrificing with your accent, just grabbing virgins like, we need rain, capish. I just can't imagine you being a pagan. You're so Italian. You're just fucking all Catholic all the time. So I have a kid. It's weird to be hanging out with like fucking real people. Like this last year's just been me and a toddler this whole time. And I'm not one of those people that complain. Like she's 2.5 years old, and other parents fucking suck. They're always like, you're gonna hate when she starts crawling. You're gonna have to chase her everywhere, or you're gonna hate when she starts walking. She's gonna break everything. Or you're definitely going to hate it when she starts talking. You can't shut her up. And it's like, I just think you hate your own fucking kid. That has nothing to do with toddlers. Like, don't put that on me, you fucking asshole. My daughter's awesome. Like, it's weird to say, but she's fucking rad. And part of it is because I'm her only friend. For the last year, she can't hang out with anybody. So it's just me and her. And I'm older and smarter. So she's just like fucking cool hype man. Like everything I do, she's amazed at, which builds my ego, and I need definitely because I'm a little attention whore. But every day she's like, "Oh wow, Daddy jump high!" I'm like, "You're right. I should join the NBA. You're right. I never thought about it, but I'm a 5'5" white guy. I could make it." Dude, the other day, this actually happened. The other day, she got curious and asked me. She was like, "Daddy, where I come from?" And I'm not gonna lie to her. Like I don't want to lie to my kid, so I gave her like that, cutesy kid version. But I was like, "Listen, sweetie, you came from mommy's tummy after daddy put you there." That's the right thing to say. And then she was super fucking cool because I said that, and then she said, "Wow, all the way up there?" And I'm like, "You're goddamn right, I did." We high five. She recognizes a good dick game. Daddy got all the way in them guts. I got my girl. It's nice to think about her after this whole last year. I've been thinking about my own mortality. I got 2 shots of heroin in me, so I'm immortal right now. But I've been thinking about my own mortality, and I realize I'm not afraid of death. I really am. I'm a Christian who's done a lot of mushrooms, and I've met God. I'm not afraid. I'm like, I know where I'm going. That guy was fucking cool. I did 8 grams of mushrooms and met God and saw that he had 2 glimmering crystal balls for testicles. I'm like, that's pretty fucking nuts, man. I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of dying. The act of it's scary as shit. Like, I don't want to be eaten alive. Unless you start at my pussy, right, ladies? All right. I am afraid of getting old, though. That's the thing that fucking terrifies me. I don't know about you guys. I don't want to get old. It's fucking scary, all right? Just like being elderly. Mainly, I don't want to smell like the inside of a pumpkin. That scares the fuck out of me. I don't know at what age that you just start smelling sour and wet at the same time, but I don't want to reach it. I want to leave before. And also, I don't take care of my body. I'm not like I'm 34 years old. This is already a fixer-upper. You know what I mean? It's not going to go well. In another 50 years, I'm just going to be a haunted house. It's not going to be okay. Other kids on the street are just going to pass by me terrified because I'm a moaning mess that just got leaky fucking cracks of blood coming out. Like, cool, new one. Can tell. Move on. Do I need to do more stories? Sure, I do. Let's do a story. Friend of everybody in here, y'all know Chris Robinson. Yeah! Motherfucker, 2 weeks ago told me that he didn't, so he's a black guy, if you guys don't know, here in Canada. And he told me 2 weeks ago that he was 32 years old before he experienced overt racism. Which here's the thing. I don't want him to experience it at all, but that's a long fucking time to get away with not experience. That's fucking insane to me. Like, I'm from Kansas in America, and as a comparison, guys, it only took fucking 16 years for a cop to call me the N-word. How the fuck did he go 3 decades without ever once meeting an Italian? I don't understand how he was able to pull that off. That's so crazy to me that's a real thing. That's the difference. My daughter's going to grow up in this. I live out in Brampton, so she's going to be diverse. But like that's the weird thing. I grew up in Kansas. She's going to grow up here in Toronto, and she's going to have shit I've never had, like diversity, and I got to get used to that. I'm happy, but it's fucking weird. Cool. Just thinking about these things out loud. By the way, Canada, I'm glad you guys are... American racism, very aggressive, but I think we've come to find out Canadian racism is... I don't know, you guys bury it way down deep. That's what I found out. That is... Wow! The only thing darker than Canadian racism is indigenous drinking water. You guys really... Didn't know you had it in you. Good Lord. You have a lot of demons you got to face. All right, cool. I think I think I want to do one more story. I'm done. I had a weird, speaking of diversity here, I had a weird thing happen. I was down on at a show on Church Street, gay neighborhood or Catholic, whatever it is. And so I was walking down Irony Boulevard, and I saw, I don't know how to say this. I'm just going to tell you the details. I saw a dude with 4 fingers total fighting 5 gay Asian men after he screamed at him, "You're all a bunch of Asian freaks!" And I immediately had way more questions than he had fingers. Number one, how is he dumb enough to try to pick a fist fight without having fists? Like, I wondered, I was like, does this guy think he's going to thumb wrestle? And I noticed that the number 2, like, how are you going to call anyone a freak when he's clearly a crustacean? That was number 2. Number 3, did the Asian guys, were they more offended at the homophobic slurs or the fact that he had chopstick for fingers? Number 4, this joke isn't working. Number 4, fuck it, I'm done. Thanks for coming out. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming. Sam Norton, guys. Keep it going. We're doing comedy tonight. That's it. I love that accent. Up in them guts. You just
feel dirty at that accent. You know what I mean? You just feel like someone's gonna come and cut your head off. You know what I mean? Now I don't want to take personal offense to the Italian. You know, he did call out my people in his set. I'm not gonna be mad. I'm gonna get even. No, I'm joking. That's an Italian. I'm not mad. I forgive you, but I don't forget. That's my mother. Oh, I forgive your aunt for being a twat, but I don't forget. That's a bigger threat. You know what I mean? When he's talking about old people, like what he doesn't want to smell like inside of a pumpkin. My dad's 90, okay? Like you get to a certain age and there is just a lingering scent of urine all the time, okay? Like it's just piss. And I'm like, Daddy, you gotta fucking change your pants. You know what I mean? Anyways, after they cross like 85 and they can't really move too fast, then it's their revenge years, okay? My dad's been trying to sue the Bank of Nova Scotia for the last 10 years, okay? All the fucking time. So then guess what? We're in the Bank of Nova Scotia, right? And we're waiting for the teller, and he lets out this massive fart, like, I'm like, Daddy! And there's a woman behind him, and it really stinks. And he's like, I'm sorry, I got lots of gas, right? And I was like, this is your revenge. You just farted at fucking Bank of Nova Scotia. You know what I mean? Like, you can't move. Like, that's the thing. What is he going to do? Walk out? It takes him 2 years to fucking walk. Like, this is the way he walks. He walks like this. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's it. Farting and urine. Anyways, you know what? We got 2 more acts. And you can do whatever the fuck you want after. You know what I mean? Please, the next act is my husband. I don't know if you all know this. But please welcome to stage my husband, Paul Thompson.
My wife, Sandra. The greatest wife in the world, because 10 years we've known each other doing stand-up, and I come on stage and I just say awful sexual things. You know what I mean? And on a night like tonight, when I found out 0 people were watching this, I hope it's still at 0. I was like, some stories have came up, and I'm ready to talk. Look, that's everything people are saying. I'm like, man, and you know what's weird too? For like 2 years during the pandemic, I'm like, maybe it doesn't need to be all about sex. You know, maybe I can write something better than a dick joke. And if this place was packed, maybe I could. But when there's 4 people, you got to keep it real. And I'm like, all right, the Italian dick thing, I got something for that. Running a gangbang? Yep. You know what I mean? Like now I'm like, let's just keep it 100. Italian dicks. Let me tell you something. I was a little bit paranoid. First of all, lots of Italian friends. Have I ran a 1-2 train? Whatever. Yeah. Whatever you want to call it. Okay? I grew up playing hockey, and then also a lot of my friends are just thug black dudes. You know what I mean? 2 of the gangbang community. You know what I mean? The black people call it a gangbang. The white guys, we call it running a train. We're like, have I done it? Fuck yeah. The boys. You know what I'm saying? It's happened. But I will tell you, yeah, Italians, meaty hogs. That's a fact. That's a fact, right? But not to talk shit about Italians, you know, my sister married one. God bless her. You know what I mean? I guess she's taking it. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure he's got an attitude too where he's packing. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, he's a good guy. You know what I mean? And that's all I care. But then like once we get past like you're a good guy for 2 years, I'm also like, man, I trust you. You know? So like, I hope you also got a fucking hog on you. You know what I mean? But so I'm not trying to talk shit, but I will say, do Italians all have big dicks? Yes. Circumcised? No. Is that weird? Up to preference, what you like, but only 0 people watching, and I'm here to give you guys a show. Was I worried in the first 6 months of the pandemic to shake hands and give a hug? Yes, I was. I don't want to die, okay? A year and a half in the pandemic, did I pay a girl to give me a hand job? For sure. They reopened the rub and tugs. Let's celebrate. I brought Julian. You know what I mean? I love that we can say names here. But, yeah, I busted early just to make sure. You know what I mean? And, like, early, like, it was a 30-minute thing. You pay for the time, and I busted, like, 17 minutes in. And I just told myself post-bust, I was like, because, like, this girl, God bless her. You know what I mean? She was like, I don't know when you're going to bust, but if you do, we're going to continue on with the massage afterwards. So it's like, huh, all right. Let's see how quick this can go. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie too. You have to wear condoms during COVID. So went soft halfway through. She was like, I'm losing you. That was sad. And then I came back. And the weirdest thing is too, I brought like our super autistic friend Julian to also get a hand job, and another one of our buddies. And when I left, I was like, sorry about the condom thing, boys. I didn't know that. And they were like, what? No one had to wear condoms. And I was like, what? Like, so I got duped, but whatever. Anyways, 13 minutes left, and I was like, I'm gonna ask some questions. So I'm interested. You know what I mean? And I asked her questions. Anyways, to bring it back to the Italian thing, one of the things that she mentioned, she was like, I will tell you something about dicks, right? Because we got to talking. I asked a bunch of questions. I'll tell you the opening question. This isn't even funny, but it's just interesting. I was like, let me ask you something. How many guys don't come? She was like, oh, this guy's a real one. And she was real too. She was like, let's say I see 10 guys in a day, 2 of them maybe don't come. Interesting. Okay. I'm like, are they mad? She's like, no, they know. Like, they know. You know what I mean? I'm like, how many guys don't get hard? She's like, let's say I see 10 guys a day, half. Really? Interesting. So we started talking about dicks or whatever, and she goes, can I tell you something? Because she started seeing, you know what I mean? I'm a real guy. You know what I mean? I'm just talking. She was like, me personally, I've seen a lot of dicks. Obviously, she called herself a cockologist. So I was like, easy, you know what I mean? But also, like, pretty cool. Like, respect, you know, I respect your game, you know? She was like, the uncircumcised ones. Not for me. And I was like, kind of racist because all Italians, Catholics, so they're all uncircumcised, so not cool. But me, circumcised, right? So I was like, sick. You like the cut. You know what I mean? All right. And then I just hit her with a fact. And this is a fact. Look, whatever you do, uncircumcised, circumcised, I get it. They're trying to say that they're manipulating our genitals if we're circumcised. That may be true. However, true facts. I'm not here to lie. These are all true stories I'm going to tell you tonight. All throughout college, when we played football, hockey, flip cup, we always did hammerheads versus anteaters, and the hammerheads always won. The circumcision does something. That's all I'm telling you. The hammerheads always won. We always did fucking circumcised versus uncircumcised. You guys are like, what does that mean? Anteaters. Now you get it, right? We always won. Fuck. I have more stories about that, but now you guys are just like, this guy really saw a prostitute during COVID. I'm like, change the subject. Change the subject. We don't call them prostitutes anymore. I went in, I got a massage, and she happened to jerk me off. There was a condom on. Like, that's the cleanest shit in the world. I came in a condom. After fucking, oh my God. You know what this girl told me? Here was another thing. She goes, some of these guys, they got weird dicks, I'll tell you. She goes, I had a doctor come in here the other day. Big curve on the dick. She goes, and that's what's weird, right? Because with COVID, because this is what I said to her. I was like, people getting like soft and maybe not coming right now. I'm like, that's going to go up. Those numbers are going up. And she's like, why do you say that? I'm like, because of COVID. I'm like, we've been locked inside. We've done nothing but watch porn that desensitizes us. And we've been jerking ourselves dumb. You know what I mean? So obviously when you jerked off 5 times a day, you're going to get guys in here and they're going to go soft. And she was like, yeah, that's a good point. She goes, another interesting thing is if you jerk off too much, your dick will start to get a curve. And I was like, what? She's like, because I had a doctor come in here, right? And he told me that like if you jerk off too much, your dick will get a curve. And I was like, she was giving me a massage at the time. This is too personal to say. And I literally like turned over. I was like, let me ask you a question. This doctor, did his dick have a curve? And she was like, well, yeah. And I was like, okay. Really? Really? Because let me tell you something. Like, I grew up in a Pornhub era. My buddies, like, we are the fucking jerk kings. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know what it's like to jerk off, like, during quarantine. That's my only credit right now. I don't want to come on stage where people are like, you know, you seen him in Just for Laughs? Yeah, 3 years ago. I'm not that guy anymore. You want to say my credits now? You're like, you want to NHL 21 championship online. He beat his previous record of 6 times in a day jerking off, and he beat it with 8. You know what I mean? The 8th time was just blood. Keep it going for him. He's coming to stage. I was like, that's not fucking true. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, and of course this guy told you that. And I was like, and let me blow your mind. Wasn't a doctor. Was not a doctor. I'm like, this guy is an IT fucking, works in an office, has a weird curved dick, and he's just going to come get jerked off and be like, I'm a doctor. Trust me, it's normal. It's just what happens when you make the mistake of jerking off too much. I'm like, that's not real. Like, if you've seen more dicks than me, you really fell for that? She was like, yeah, man, what a real conversation I had with that girl. Beautiful. Unbelievable. So much respect for them. Sex work is real work. God damn. I love it. OnlyFans? You guys on the OnlyFans? Okay, cool. We don't get to get into it. But like, yeah, me too. I support that fucking community. Man. But sex work is real. I find that. Let's get into this shit. Whatever. If we're here, we're gonna do some fucking COVID shit and that. It was weird too. The difference between what happened when we had comedy last time and then we took a year off and now this time. Like, remember last year before we had this other year break? My whole thing, and I think a lot of people's whole thing, is like, I'm not talking about COVID. Like, we need an escape from it. And now coming back, I'm like, I'm talking about nothing but COVID. You guys need me to fucking tell you something that YouTube ads aren't talking about. Do I wear the mask? I wear the mask. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. Does it make me uncomfortable? It makes me uncomfortable. I don't like wearing the fucking mask. Mask is fucking weird, man. I get claustrophobic. I smoke weed sometimes. I can't smoke weed during the day now because I don't want to be high and wear a mask. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I feel like I can't breathe. It's fucking weird. Why is the bandana okay? That's my question. That the bandana is okay? Dude, for 300 years, walking into a business wearing a bandana was a universal sign for you're about to get robbed. If you watched a movie like in the olden days and there was a guy wearing a bandana, they're like, that's a bad guy. It was the universal sign for bad guy. And now in the past year, you can walk into a business literally wearing a bandana and people are like, thank you for doing your part. Orange juice is on the left. Awesome. Like, what? Shit's fucked up, man. Still wear the mask, but it's just, I don't know. Shit's weird. And they're like trying to tell us, like, right now, they're like, things are opening up slowly. Like, that's cool. Like, you know, Wonderland's back. The arcade, you can start going to bar. I'm like, who are you selling this to? 9-year-olds? Like, when can we get jobs again? It's fucked up. Right? But it was like good for me, and it kind of still is. I'm not going to be outraged until CERB stops. You know? And then I'm like, what the fuck do you expect us to do? But right now, like, I'm an artist. I get to just paint and do this and still, like, make some money from the government. I'm pretty calm. You know, and especially during the pandemic, dating was unbelievable. As an artist in Toronto, a broke person, very difficult to date. Very, very difficult to date. I've had friends come to Toronto and they're like, man, Tinder's broken. And you're like, why are you saying that? They're like, I've been here for 2 months, swiping, I haven't got a single match. And you're like, yeah, because you're staying on King Street, dude. These girls are like, he's not a lawyer. He doesn't have a Lamborghini. Ew, gross. I'm like, he's not broken. Go to Kitchener. They're like, people waiting. It's fantastic. It's sick, right? But here, it's, I don't know, man. I can't, like, I can see this perfectly hot girl, but I'm like, you're not going to like me. I got personality, but I don't got the money. You know what I mean? But then all of a sudden during the pandemic, all that mattered was personality. The only date we could go on is a walk. Oh, man, I'm going to miss those days. I'm going to miss those days. When you're like, I would take you out for a dinner, and, oh, man, I'd take you to the best restaurant. But right now, maybe we go for a walk or something. Like, we get to smash based on a walk. I'm going to miss that shit. Unreal. So much easier to date as a broke guy. So much easier to date, but also so much harder to date during the pandemic. Because then girls got into their shit hard. Like, now you got to know what time you were born and shit. So, like, girls got into that. You're like, I'm in Aries. Like, that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? What's your rising moon, though? And you're like, oh, fuck. I got to call my mom. I'm like, what time was I born again? She's like, this kid's getting pussy. You know what I mean? 7:33 a.m. And they're like, rising Jupiter? I knew it. It's crazy. I had a girl ask me my blood type the other day. That's how deep this shit's getting. My blood type? I was like, I don't know. O negative. She's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. You are such a no negative. I could tell you are such a no negative. It's brutal. Almost getting into fights in the grocery store though. That's what this mask is doing. It's creating fucking weird divides, you know? And I understand if it's an older person, I got a heart, you know? If somebody's 80 and they're like, can you give me some space? You're like, all right, I'll give you some. You're scared. Also too, like, kind of over that thing. People using that to try and guilt trap us. Like, dude, yeah, I'm sorry that there's 3 people at your comedy show tonight. I would love to come watch, but my grandma is 103, so she's at risk, okay? I can't exactly just come to your comedy show. And you're like, dude, your grandma's 103. Newsflash, she's been at risk. You could sneeze around her and she's gonna die. She's legitimately a miracle. They're talking about her in the news. She's 103, man. Like, I don't hate old people. I like old people. You know, just some of them are gross. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I just like, here's what I don't understand. If you're 103 and you're like the sweetest lady in the world, God bless you. I love you more than anybody else. But there is people out there who are 95 years old and still pieces of shit. That's legal. That's legal. Isn't the whole purpose of this thing that we want people to die, specifically the old ones? So it's like, you didn't have to invent a virus. I'll help you out. Make it illegal in Ontario that you can't be a piece of shit after 80. After 80. I've had friends die at 20. You've had 4 times the life they have. You didn't realize, just like have sex unprotected, do acid, like whatever the fucking system is. You didn't figure out how to be fucking happy. You legally should not be allowed to be a bad person past the age of 80. Simple process. Walk into the doctor's office, you know what I mean? They're like, hi, Ariel. And if she's like, hello, you know, how are you? I got 3 beautiful grandkids. I'm going to Florida in March. You're like, you're good. Here's your stamp. It's that quick. But if they come in and they're like, first of all, the parking, I don't know who you have working. Is that an Indian fella? You're like, all right, come with me. You know what I mean? 22 to that 88. Bam. Clear negative energy. Get the fuck out of here. Namaste. You won't be missed. Sounds bad. I'm not saying I would kill my grandparents. I'm saying I would kill yours if they're still cunts. For minimum wage. For minimum wage. Get rid of them. Old. They hate white people more now. I didn't see that coming. What? Unreal. A year later, and it's like, what? We're just like full-blown cancer. And I get it. Like, you know, shit's equaling out. There's a lot of shit. Look, you know what I'm jealous of? I'll tell you something. Little thing. As a white guy. Our friends don't take pictures of us. You ever seen brown dudes taking pictures of their friends? Unbelievable. That's friendship. This is one of those jokes that's like a seed of laughter. I planted into your soul. You're going to see what I'm talking about. Bloom into a tree full of giggles. Brown guys like hard brown dudes. They go down to a beautiful area. White dudes aren't like, yo, bro, can you take a picture of me in front of the lake? They're like, picture in front of the lake. Get the fuck out of here, dude. But there's literally brown guys showing up to like photographic areas, and they're just literally like standing there. You know what I mean? And then they're like looking at the picture and stuff. Brown people take unreal pictures of each other. And it's just 2 dudes. Like, I wish I had that. White people don't have that type of relationship where we're like, yo, man, can you take a picture of me? It's like, I'll take a picture of us. And it's got to be silly. It's got to be like the boys. We got to be giving a finger. Like, you know what I mean? But brown guys are like taking fucking headshots for each other on the iPhone. Just like literally by the CN Tower. And they're like, take another one. Like, that never would. Unbelievable. Getting in fights at the grocery store. Story. I got off fucking track. Getting in fights at the grocery store. So, like, yeah, with old people, I get it. You know what I mean? You want 6 feet of space? I get it. You're scared. But people our age, like a guy who's like in his 30s, and he's like, dude, can you back up? Like, man, I'm giving everybody 6 feet. If you're telling me to back up when there's 6 feet, I'm like, bro, are we about to scrap in Whole Foods right now? Like, we both have masks on. Get the fuck out of here. Who do you think you are? I don't have time for that fucking dude anymore. Can you back the fuck up? And the greatest place in the world to get into a fucking argument, the grocery store. Unbelievable. It's so personal. You know how much you can just chirp and carve it, dudes, when you can see what their groceries are? I don't want people to know my groceries. I carry a backpack to the grocery store. I don't want people to be like, oh, pizza pockets, eh? Like, get the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want them to know what's going on in my life. But when you're in the grocery store and you get to be like, avocados, yo, what's up with the avocados? Those are for breakfast? That's a healthy alternative. Like, it hits their soul, man. We're like, Pepto-Bismol. Did somebody have a tummy ache? Is that what's happening? Somebody got your tummy tom-tom? And they're like, dude, like, you know, are those Klondike bars? You deserved a treat. Did you deserve a treat? Fall back, bitch. Fall the fuck back. I can see your groceries. You know what I mean? Unreal. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Let me say one last thing. But, fuck, I said that with closer energy. And I meant like one last thing as in like, I've tried to say this once and it didn't go well. I was mentioning jobs before. Jobs are coming back. Here's a job that doesn't exist anymore that I wish did. Do you guys remember Roger's video? No, right? You grew up in... Yeah. And you didn't... You do.
I remember Roger.
Okay. Fuck. I can't do this job. No one knows Roger's video. Okay. But just for me and you. For me and you. This job I wish I still had. Do you remember back in the day when you would go to Roger's video? How old are you?
I'm 44.
Okay. So, you might remember... I'm like a little younger, like, because I remember my parents would like rent movies. Do you remember back in the day you go to Roger's video, you flip it over, it would tell you everything in the movie, where there would be like, there's a scene with boobs, there's a scene with what? What a fucking sick job. That's unreal, man. I wish that job still existed, and it doesn't exist on Netflix. Now it just says like brief nudity, drug use. Back in the day, Roger's video used to be like, they smoke a joint, it'd be specific. Girl does that. Think about that guy doing that job. Like, you know what I mean? There was a guy who's like probably 25 years old that just like got to watch the newest movies and smoke weed. And then 30 minutes in, he's like, boobs, got it. Sick, yeah. Oh, Judd's back at 45. Smokes a joint at 55. Nice, sick. And he just has to watch movies and just be like, titties, got it. Oh, a dick. Okay, wrote it down, you know what I mean? Drinking, a little bit of drinking. Oh, they said the F word. Nice. Like, what a sick... Yeah, that's never happening again.
Moms do it now.
Yeah.
Those websites with moms.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, seriously.
With moms?
Yeah, moms will do like websites where they write down all the things that are in the movie.
Oh, yeah. That's what it is. You want to know a last real thing that I want to say that was just so fucking... How sad this shit has gotten? How much we fucking... Brian made a joke about like the play all on Pornhub. You know, like, you've been watching too much fucking Instagram when somebody's like, they keep bringing up memes and you're like, I saw that. You know what I mean? Where people are like, yo, check this out. And you're like, I saw that. Yo, have you seen this video? And you're like, I saw that. And that's how you know you're like, I'm watching too much Instagram. That happened to me with porn. Like, a guy literally was just like, yo, I watched the weirdest porn the other day. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I've seen that. You know what I mean? Like, we should never have watched the same porn. Ever. Porn is so specific and so psychologically interesting because if you've ever tried to share porn with your friend, like, I know what my favorite porn of all time is. You know what I mean? Does the trick constantly. You share it with a friend, they'll be 2 minutes in, and they're like, it's not my thing. It's not my thing. It's so specific. Music and shit, we lie to each other. I think we like music because our friends like music and we get manipulated by what society. Porn is like, it's real shit. The porn you like is the porn you fucking like. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Okay. I just wanted to leave you. That's my last line. The porn, stick to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Thompson! Bring out your dead, bring out your dead, bring out your dead today. Oh, I love this kind of music. Porn. I stopped watching porn in January, if anybody gives a fuck. Is anybody... Paul's done it, my husband. He's totally, like, taking a break. I was inspired by him. But, like, one of the last porns I saw was a stepmom, stepson. It landed on my desktop, so I'm like, okay, play all. You know what I mean? Whatever. So here's... I'm gonna reenact this fucking porn as best... Oh, this fucking thing. Anyways. This is gonna be really weird. Look at this fucking come and look. If you saw this angle, it looks so fucked. Like it's a fucking porn over here. What's happening? Anyway, so here it is. Stepmom. Okay, the stepmom is at the fucking kitchen counter, Okay, short skirt, puss out, no big deal Sunday afternoon. You know what I mean? Right? And she's poring over documents. Okay. Then the stepson comes in and he's like, "Stepmom, what are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm trying to do my taxes, but nothing's adding up." And he's like, "Coincidence, I'm studying accounting in college." And I was like, "You mean to tell me that this never came up in a conversation? That the fucking stepmom doesn't know that the stepson is taking accounting?" Anyways, he goes behind her, plows her, and that's the story. You know what I mean? Or at least the one I wrote. Nobody in here. Anybody like to write a couple of sex scenes sometime? Okay. My job is done. Ariel, do you want to close this shit?
Yeah, sure.
Like, I don't need to come up at the end, do I? Okay, guys, here's our closer, our ending to this one. Actually, this night was really fun. Tell you right now. Guys, your last act. Please welcome to stage Ariel Kagan.
Thank you. I'm so glad 1/3 of the audience left to come on stage. That's fun. I also like how you guys put, honestly, subjectively, the weakest comic lost. You guys are dicks. Thank you. That's my confidence. What's up? Let's get into it. It's fun. COVID's been fucking weird. For me, it taught me only one thing. I don't respect people enough. Yeah, now they've stopped listening. That's fun. I'll just talk to the girl I hang out with who hears me think these thoughts all the time anyway, so that's fun. And this guy, I feel like he's going to watch us later. This is weird. Right, like, okay. Yeah, I don't respect people enough, and specifically historical figures. Like, I didn't have any respect for Anne Frank. None. Not 1 ounce of respect. And now I'm like, Jesus Christ, that she was a hero, right? Like we couldn't handle 3 months alone in our apartments with a guy named Chad from Peterborough, who's like, "Give me another 2-4, bud." Right? She handled 2.5 years in the Holocaust. 2.5 years. I couldn't handle 3 months of Uber Eats and Netflix, so she had to hang out with her neurotic Jewish grandmother in an attic. I'm pretty sure she's in this room right now. Fucking weird. COVID was fucked for me. I moved 5 times in 7 months. No, thank you. It was the first time in my life I was glad I was poor, you know, like, because I own a small Nissan Micra. Well, that was my car at the time, and I could literally move my entire life in a hatchback. It was super fun, super easy. Do you know what it's like to pick up mail at 7 different addresses in the GTA during a pandemic? I do. It's fucking weird. I broke up with my ex just before COVID. I'm over it. She's in love. She's met someone else. Cool. But how I found out was super fucking weird. My mom phones me and she's like, "Hey, have you seen your ex's new guy?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Well, I gotta tell you, I'd fuck him." You call me to tell me this? This is a text, at least. You know, like, you don't need to phone me for this. She was posting a lot about Black Lives Matter. Like, so much about Black Lives Matter. Like, too much. You know, like it was like, I was pretty sure she left me for a black guy. I'm pretty sure. Listen, I can say that. I'm African. I'm literally the blackest person here. Well, actually, Paul was on the show, so maybe not. Paul's pretty black. You know how he leaned all the time? What are you, fucking Eddie Murphy? Like, fuck off. No, I love Paul. That's fucking hilarious. That rub and tuck story is pretty fucking weird, dude. In a condom? That is the worst feeling. Girls will never understand. I'm sorry. Like, coming in a condom, I would rather not come. Like, that's... Yeah, I don't know why I'm riffing on this. This makes no sense. I'll tell you my jokes. So I am from South Africa, and I moved here for a better life. That's why I came, and it turns out that was a bad decision. Came here, much harder life. Oh, in South Africa, I would have been a king. Like, you understand? Like, what you think there's white privilege here? Holy fuck, man. I would have just been, I would have been the biggest comedian probably in South Africa. I would have sucked. I would have been terrible. But, Anyway, now I'm here, and I gotta be honest. I came in a winter. That's when I decided to move, and really, it was a mistake because I'd never seen snow in my goddamn life. Not once seen snow. Then I thought I could live in it. Like it only snowed once in Johannesburg, and it was like barely any. It was like little white flip. We like lost our minds though. We were like, "It's fucking snowing!" And then we ran outside, and we were like, "Mother's like, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just being dad." Yeah, my dad loved Coke. Loved Coke so much, like too much, and I wish I could. Like him loving Coke is why I can't love anything that much. You understand? Like he just loved it so much. You know how much he loved it? More than his 2 kids. That's how much he loved it. Too sad for you guys? Okay, I lived with him, so it's fine. Fuck you. You guys are like, ooh, it's like, fuck, I gotta tell my truth up here. This fucking dude, I just learned this about him. He took me to the cricket. Yeah, you guys don't know what the fuck that is, probably. It's a sport that we play in another hemisphere of the world that is fucking boring as fuck. It's 5 days long, okay? Like, nothing should be 5 days long. Except periods, I guess. I actually know very little about periods, I'll be honest. So my dad took me to the cricket, but he brought a date this one time. And she was lovely. I remember the day. It's one of my most favorite memories of a day with my father, just being at the sport in the sun. You barbecue. It's a good time. This beautiful woman that he brought ran her hands through my hair. It made me feel good, And then I told this story to my mother over Zoom recently, and she got a grave look in her face. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? And she was like, oh, that was a hooker. You couldn't let me have this. You just couldn't let me have this, Mom. You couldn't let me have this one fucking memory. Now you're telling me I third-wheeled a date between my dad and a hooker? Fuck's sakes. I shouldn't say hooker twice. You're right. I'm learning, audience, of 2. I'm an angry guy. Tonight I feel okay, but generally most of the time I'm furious. I started to have rage blackouts. Yeah, you guys don't know what that is. Basically, it's when you get so angry, you dissociate, you like just disappear from your own consciousness for a minute, and when you wake up, you've done horrible shit. I told a friend this recently, and he was like, nah, you just wanted to do horrible shit. And I was like, oh, I really did not. I freaked out at a parking permit officer. Yeah, I trashed City Hall. I actually got thrown out of City Hall. They should have arrested me, but I got thrown out. I went there to get a temporary parking permit for one of the 7 addresses I had. And I was like, hey, can I just get one of those little yellow stickers? And she was like, no. You got to change your address. I was like, I actually don't have an address. So I'm living in a Nissan Micra. But I'm getting tickets while I'm in the fucking car. You understand? And then she was like, well, you got to change your address. And I went right to her face. And this is where I blacked out. And like, I only know this because it's been told to me, is I said, you're a fucking cunt. And then I hit her shit off the desk. And I don't know why I'm telling you this. I was hoping to find gold, but I'm just angry. Just an angry man. That's my point. Angry man. I try to fix it, though. I'm trying to fix it. I go to group therapy. That's fucking weird. It's over Zoom. So just seeing these men's rooms, and you're like, yeah, no wonder you're depressed. Look at that. Fucking, you got a Naruto poster on the wall. You haven't seen a pussy in like 100 years. Okay, you guys are on their side. He's made up. We actually sign a confidentiality thing. Like, I'm not allowed to talk about any of their shit. So that's fun. I know so many secrets now. It's so tasty. Trying to fix it. I started meditating frequently. But you meditate, dude? Yeah, I saw your beard. You also have like a calm demeanor, so that's good. I started meditating, but I don't understand it because really, in principle, they tell you to go sit alone in a room with your thoughts. I'm like, I don't think you know what the fucking problem is. Cool, not suicide crowd. Not a suicide crowd. All right. I told you I shouldn't have gone lost. I'm in a complicated place with all aspects of life. One of them is money. I don't know what I'm doing with my money. I'm a Jew who's not good with money. People are always shocked when they hear this. They're like, "You're a Jew and you're broke." What? Yeah, listen, my grandparents, really good with money. Me, not good with money. Different Jew, okay? Just a different Jew. This is how bad I am with money. I don't know how this show is costing me $13 to be here right now. So, making great life choices. Paying to work. Right? You understand that, comics? That's what we do sometimes. We pay to work. That's disgusting. So trying to fix whatever I can. I lost 35 pounds. I did that because I wanted to have sex again. Turns out, guys, if you're not getting laid, it's you. You're gross. Lose some weight, shave your pubes. Girls like to fuck. Okay? I know this because I have an accent. But that's about it, apparently. I'm a one and done type. You're about to learn this. Not by choice. It's because I have the accent, and then that's everything they care about. They're like, "Oh, we got to know you, and you need to leave." One and done. So I have a complicated relationship right now with sex, and it comes, like, the comedians will know why, but it's just like a weird situation to find yourself in, because sex is pretty fucking dark when you think about it. Like, we just go into a room to breathe on one another, and then for a minute we're like, "Hey, can you help me not breathe for a minute?" "Oh, I'm the only one who likes to get choked." "Sure. Yeah, Paul gets jacked off in condoms. You're telling me he doesn't like one choking? Like, come on." Right? And then I hang out with male comedians, and I'm sorry, male comedians, we are the worst people, because, like, sometimes we don't even talk to each other. We just say gross shit to each other's face. Like, a comedian got in my car recently, didn't even say hello. He was like, "Yeah, if she doesn't let me come in her face, I'm not into it." It's like, dude, yesterday a raindrop fell and hit me in the face, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Oh! Okay. Come in the face, crowd. Got it. Okay, we'll do 2 more, and then I'll leave. So yeah, I was hanging out at a show. I learned that men aren't allowed to turn down sex. Apparently, this is not a thing. Have you ever turned down sex, sir? You're allowed to turn it down with women, right? Like, women understand. You're like, "No, I'm not in the mood." But men, they don't get it. My friend saw me turn down sex recently, and they acted like I committed a war crime against the gender. Right? It was like we shared one dick. That's how they acted. They were like, "What? No. What? What?" And then they say crazy shit. Like, my friend said to me, as she walks away, he's like, "Well, can I have her?" "I don't think that's up to me, dude." Pretty sure that's her choice. I'll do this and I'll leave. Before COVID, I was a tour guide. What that means is tourists would visit Toronto, and then I would lie to them about Toronto. Like St. Lawrence Market. Yeah, built by St. Lawrence himself. Surprisingly, a lot of people believe that one. Because I said it with confidence, I guess. Yeah, but I would lie a lot on those tours. I don't know why. Right? Like it was my full-time job. And then people would be like, "Hey, is this your full-time job?" And I'd be like, "Nah." Like, for what? Like, anyway. Listen, so one day I went on a tour, and we did a St. Lawrence Market tour Friday morning, and they loved it. This one couple on a group of 10 loved it so much that they booked me privately Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night. I hung out with one couple 6 times one weekend. That's fucking weird. But I'm a curious person. So I was like, "Hey, why'd you guys book me so many times?" And they're like, "Oh, our son died 6 months ago, and you remind us of him." Why couldn't it have just been a threesome? Like, I would have fucked the 65-year-old couple from Collingwood like this. if I knew this was the option, right? I felt my heart broke for these people. I felt nothing but pain for these people. But then I started to think about what these fucking people just did to me. They just weekend of Bernie's me around Toronto. And I'm a bigger asshole. That's the biggest problem in my life, is that I'm a bigger asshole when I'm faced with these moments, right? Because all I could say back to this couple was, hey, if you pay my rent, I'll wear his pajamas. All right, guys, my name's Ariel Kagan. Thank you so much. This show happens every weekend. Friday, Saturday. Come back.
Thanks everybody for coming out and seeing Comedy Alley tonight. We do this every Friday and Saturday. We are not doing one tomorrow though, so don't come in tomorrow. We will not be here. No one will be here. That's it. But next week, Friday, Saturday, please come back. We'd love to have you back. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. It's so weird.
It's very weird.
Yeah, very weird. You made it very comfortable.
I think good audience.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.